I'm sure you know this feeling, that really disorienting shock when you realize your internal clock is just completely broken. You walked in when the sun was up, and now it's pitch black outside. Where did the last 6 hours even go?
Well, here's the thing. That feeling of disorientation, it's not a bug. It's a feature. It was literally manufactured, packaged, and sold to you the second you walk through that door. And it's all for one reason, to keep you inside.
We all like to think we're in control, right? That we're making rational decisions. But there's a whole industry of architects and psychologists who have perfected the art of just bypassing our logical brain. They design spaces that speak directly to our subconscious.
And it turns out they aren't just after your money. Nope, they're mining something way more precious, your hours. In this business model, your time isn't just a currency. It's the actual raw material.
So, for decades, the main philosophy in casino design came from this one guy, Bill Friedman. He was actually a gambling addict who became a professor, and he treated design almost like a military operation. His whole philosophy was brutally simple. Confusion is profitable. Why? Because a customer who is lost can't find the exit. And a customer who can't leave, well, they're probably going to spend more money.
His so-called maze method was designed to make you feel trapped. Think about it. Low ceilings, short, narrow aisles, and hidden landmarks all work together to make you feel lost. You literally couldn't see an exit from anywhere on the floor. It was a labyrinth, built to keep the mouse in until it gave up its cheese.
But, this method had a pretty big flaw. Trapped people get anxious, and anxious people, eventually, they're going to flee. This led to a huge disruption in design, led by a man named Roger Thomas.
And this shows us two completely opposite ways to get to the same goal. While Friedman used anxiety to trap you, Thomas, he used luxury to seduce you. He didn't build mazes, he built playgrounds. He got rid of the low ceilings and put in high ones, swapped narrow aisles for grand avenues, and just flooded the whole space with art and natural light.
The old guard, they thought he was crazy. They were convinced that if people could see the exit, they'd leave. But Thomas understood a deeper truth. Make people feel rich and relaxed, and they won't want to leave. Suddenly, the world inside is way better than the world outside. This was a revolutionary shift from entrapment to sedation. But look, whether it's a maze or a palace, the fundamental goal is exactly the same: the complete and total suspension of reality. And this is where the design gets incredibly subtle and, well, powerful.
So let's look at the tools of the trade. The soundscape is carefully curated. The music is often in a pleasant, calming key like C major. But more importantly, the sounds of winning are amplified, while the sounds of losing are totally silenced. You're basically bathed in this illusion of constant victory.
This is how they engineer a psychological flow state. See, a sharp corner forces a conscious decision. Do I go left or do I go right? But a gentle curve, well, a curve just guides you. You just drift from one machine to the next without ever really engaging the decision-making part of your brain. You're basically being poured through the room like water. And then, of course, there's the most famous trick of all: no clocks and no windows. This isn't just about making you forget what time it is. It's almost like a biological attack. Our bodies run on circadian rhythms, anchored by daylight. By removing those anchors, they sever your physical connection to the outside world.
So, why does any of this matter to you if you never set foot in a casino? Well, it's because the laboratory where all these techniques were perfected, it has expanded.
These principles, designed to kill your sense of time and encourage this sort of mindless engagement, they have migrated from the casino floor directly into the palm of your hand. And this, right here, this is the real takeaway. That bright red notification badge on your app, that's the flashing light of the slot machine begging for your attention. The pull to refresh gesture on your timeline, that's just the modern version of pulling the lever, giving you that variable reward that keeps you hooked. And the infinite scroll, that's the digital version of the curved path, removing any stopping cue and guiding you effortlessly into losing hours of your life. So what can you do? I mean, really? It turns out the most powerful defense you have against this kind of design is surprisingly simple. The next time you feel that pleasant, kind of drifting sensation, whether you're in a mall or just on your phone, just pause for a second. Re-engage your rational brain. Notice the design. Look for the clock. Look for the exit. Simply becoming aware of what's happening is the first, most important step. And then ask yourself the one question that cuts right through all the noise.
Is this space, whether it's physical or digital, is it designed for my enjoyment or for my extraction? The answer might just change how you spend your most valuable asset, your time.